Joy News Prime.
This is indeed Joy News Prime here on Joy News on Multi TV. My name is Israel. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, patients left stranded at public hospitals in Accra after doctors declare strike over failed talks to finalize their service conditions. Riots at Salaga, SHS leaves one dead. Ghana Grid Company warns electricity consumers of more erratic power outages as it embarks on projects to replace old equipment at substations across. Also coming up, we have more business, sports and international news. Joy News Prime is available across Europe on ABN television. Our very first story, a partial strike announced by doctors working with public health facilities on Thursday left many patients stranded in a number of the government hospitals here in Accra. The doctors declared a strike on Wednesday after they failed to reach an agreement with government on their service conditions. For the next few days, the Ghana Medical Association says its members will withdraw services at outpatients department. Joy News' Francis Aban reports the impact was quite severe at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital.
So at the outpatients department of the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, it's just a few hours after news broke that the Ghana Medical Association has taken its first line of action by withdrawing services at the outpatients department as part of measures to push government to let them have their conditions of service negotiated and pushed through comfortably. But the ones affected are the ones here, sitting on these pews here at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. The patients have been sitting here, some of them as early as 4 a.m. It's been more than 5 hours and they've been waiting.
Some people are telling me that there's a strike, but I have no idea.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting.
You're waiting. Are you hopeful that you get medical attention today?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
No.
What do you make of the doctor's strike?
Well, the line of communication have been open while they still continue to work. Because medical field, you can never, ever abandon. Where I come from, there has never been a strike in a hospital. All grievances are solved on the table, not in the hospital rooms. Going on strike is wrong, but their grievances have to be let.
How does this make you feel that you're here waiting hours and not getting medical attention for your sister?
Yeah, actually, it makes me feel very nervous because we came here as early as 4 o'clock and we have been waiting. We were here last 2 weeks and they gave us today that we should be here. So we came very early so that we will leave quite early to attend to other businesses. But quite unfortunately, we came here, we have made all the payments. Since we are not having national health, they made all the payments and we are here waiting. We have heard the rumors, but none of the nurses has come out to tell us that doctors are on strike. So we are still waiting till we get maybe authentic information that doctors are
from the hospital.
Yeah, from the hospital.
Now, what do you make of the decision by the doctors to withdraw their services because of their government's failure to give them their conditions of service?
Actually, it's quite unfortunate, but since they are in the soup and they know how hot it is, I can't speak for them, so we just pray that government will meet their needs.
From what I'm hearing, if they haven't been paid for months, then they have the right to go on strike. Although I'm not feeling well, they also have mouths to feed. And if you don't pay somebody for 9 months, I don't think the person should continue working. Yeah.
So you are supporting them even though you're not well?
Yes, yes.
So what options would you consider now, considering that you're not feeling well, you've been taken care of, but you still have some attention to go through?
If I have the finances, then I have to see a private doctor.
But do you?
I do. For now, I do.
What about those who don't?
That is where the problem lies.
For now, the Hippocratic oath by doctors is not working because the fate of those who need medical attention to survive is not on the table. Reporting from Korle Bu, I'm Francis Aban for Joy News.
Now, the situation at the La General Hospital is no different. Hanodame reports patients had to wait for more than 3 hours for non-existent doctors.
Here at the La Hospital, the management is trying all their best to ensure that there's no lapse in taking care of patients. I have seen a medical officer on duty taking care of some patients, and 2 house officers, I'm also told, are on duty also assisting. The nurse in charge tells me that as and when the situation gets beyond what the health officers can do, other doctors will be brought in to take care of them.
More than 3 hours.
I have been sitting here for more than 3 hours now. I came here at 7:45 a.m. and it's past 10 a.m. now. I want the government to do what the doctors want, so we don't waste time because of the strike. I came here before getting to know of the strike, so for now, I only have to wait to be attended to. If I had known of the strike, I wouldn't have come here. I would have gone to the police hospital instead. I am pleading with the government to pay the doctors so they can return to their works.
Elsewhere around the country, however, most doctors were said to be opposed. Northern Regional Correspondent Hashim Mohammed reports doctors at the Tamale Teaching Hospital were attending to patients.
Well, fortunately for the patients in the northern region, they are not going through the difficulties that their counterparts in down south are going through, because the doctors are at post, they are working, and they are attending to patients.
That's good news, but are they aware? Is it that they are not aware that the GMA has, called for the strike?
Well, I spoke to some of the doctors who wouldn't like to go public, and what they tells me is that the conditions down south is not the same as here in the north. Here, if the patients are not attended to, they cannot afford to visit any private facility, and for them, they are adding human touch to whatever concern that they have here, and they cannot just sit down unconcerned and then see people die.
So is it that they are torn in between obeying their mother body and being human, or giving it a human face, or they just can't be bothered about what's happening or what the GMA is calling for?
For them, yes, they are concerned about the issues that they have put before government, and at the same time, they also want to show some kind of affection.
But what has been the response from the patients in the hospital? So if they are aware that there's a strike and the doctors are still taking care of them, they must be happy, aren't they?
Well, you ask some of them, and then they are not even aware that doctors are on strike. And for them, they are happy that they are being attended to.
Now, Abiseto, who taught some part of the Volta region, says doctors seem to have largely ignored the GMA order.
There is good news in the Volta region as well.
All right.
As doctors in the region are working, Machok and Keta, Aflao, Tobakope, Akachi, and down Volta North, the hospitals there, the doctors are all working. I spoke to some of them who wouldn't want to go on record. Okay, fine, they know what is going on. They also need money, but they can also sit down and watch people die.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Medical Association has reacted angrily to a Facebook post by a presidential staffer giving details about the doctors' demands. The post on the page of Standogbe states that the doctors in some instances are asking for as much as two times the allowances they currently receive. The Ghana Medical Association Deputy General Secretary, however, has described the post as unfortunate. He questioned why Standogbe did not put what government is proposing to the doctors as well on his Facebook page.
And people like him try to do what he's doing. Some of us feel very, very sad for him as a person. We all know him. We wouldn't want to say much. See, when we talk about consultants, let me just give you an example. Maybe that will paint a better picture. We are talking about people the stature of, say, Professor Frempong Boateng. These are people who are very renowned persons whose expertise are well sought after all over the world. They have sacrificed for Mother Ghana. They have worked very hard, and have obtained their positions as we speak based on hard work and excellence, not political patronage like he is enjoying now. And he wants to tell us that he has probably contributed more because of political patronage and deserves better than people like Professor Barima. How many gallons of fuel does he use from the castle or from the Flagstaff House for his social activities alone? And he thinks that somebody, the stature of Barima, Professor, should use 20 gallons a week, a month for his activities when it comes to work, not even for social events. He thinks that what he has put on his Facebook page or whatever is what should be for doctors. Let me ask him, did he put what government proposals were on the Facebook wall? Why didn't he put it there? Two, he as a person, why didn't he put what he enjoys from the Flagstaff House as a presidential aide or advisor or whatever he is on the Facebook wall for people to see? I don't blame him. His siblings or relatives who were my juniors, some of them in school, ask him whether any of them is serving in Ghana. Okay. They are serving in the United States.
In a related development, labor expert Austin Game has faulted both government and the Ghana Medical Association for the current strike by doctors, explaining either of the parties could have turned to the National Labour Commission for a resolution of the issues. He cited Section 163 of the Labour Act, which he says clearly states employees offering essential services cannot go on strike, and 162, which asked both parties to seek redress at the National Labour Commission. He particularly blames government for starting negotiations with the doctors, explaining they do not use the right approach to demand their conditions of service.
They are definitely in breach. Both sides, the employer and the union, they both should not even have started the negotiation in the first place.
Right.
Because if the rules they claim they have is anything to go by, you cannot be threatening someone, holding a gun on him or a knife on him, and you ask that you should come and commence negotiation. It's inappropriate.
Right.
It's not done in any civilized society.
Okay, so government faulted by even
commencing the negotiation in the first place. And the union also is guilty for, threatening the employer and pressurizing the employer because of the sensitivity of the job they do, and compel them to come to the negotiation table, and then using adversarial approach in the negotiation.
Right.
The employer should immediately report this matter to the appropriate quarters. Okay. And the right place to go is the National Labour Commission.
Right.
And the Labour Commission will give an order for them to stop the strike immediately and compel both sides, if they think that they cannot resolve the matter through the civilized way of negotiating the condition of service, then compulsory arbitration will be triggered. They want to make effort to have a condition. There's nothing wrong, and I support them 100% plus to enable them have a written condition of service. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay. It's an approach that is completely out of gear. Okay. If they have submitted a proposal and the employer also agreed to it and they are sitting to negotiate, then there is a process they have to go through. And it's not compulsory that whatever they brought should be imposed. Okay. So both sides will have to discuss the issues. If they are unable to reach agreement on all or any of the issues, they have to package it, send it to the National Labour Commission. Because they are essential service, as in the LI 1833, they are dedicated essential service. Within 3 days on reporting this matter to the National Labour Commission, they will constitute themselves either to a full panel, as it were, all of them, or each one representing the bodies that send them there. Right. And they will go through that process. And
the erratic power outages in the country has had to endure for the last 3 years. It's set to get worse for residents in parts of Accra as a result of an ongoing project to retool electricity substations. The Ghana Grid Company Limited says the substation's reliability enhancement project, currently focused at the Achimota substation, will result in unscheduled power outages beyond the normal rationing program managed by the Electricity Company of Ghana. Residents in areas served by the Achimota substation have in the last few weeks been experiencing these outages. But GRIDCO Chief Executive William Amuna says residents will see an intensification.
The substation's reliability enhancement project involves the replacement of electricity transmission equipment which have been in use in some instances for as long as half a century. It will see the reconfiguration of some of the substations, installation of additional transformers, replacement of switch gears, construction and expansion of control rooms. The works at the Achimota substation will affect communities in the eastern half of Accra, including the Central Business District, cantonments, Usu, Ridge and Bema Camp. It comes at a time the public is enduring a crippling energy crisis, but the GRIDCO Chief Executive explains it could be more costly if the retooling is not done now.
So this is no new thing at all. I mean, it is just that we know that we are the peak of the operations, and who knows, I mean, if anything happens, we would have to let customers know that anything could happen at any time. And that is why we have created that bay where we are going to add more capacity to. You could even touch a cable, assuming it's loose because it's old, you could cause a trip of the station. Now, this is not the first time we're giving such an announcement. I mean, it's interesting that this time it's raising a lot of eyebrows, but we have constantly done that. I mean, this is not the first time we are telling people that we are doing these works here in Achimota. Okay? So we are saying this, and what he was just mentioning is not like a very frequent thing. Possibly in about 3-4 months, you could have one occurrence. I mean, it is not something that's going to be that frequent that would take off people.
GRIDCO is meanwhile also constructing a new substation on the Graphic Road to serve the Central Business District of Accra and East Duluth on the Achimota substation.
Accra has overgrown this substation. We are trying to ensure that every part of Accra has reliable supply, and the government contacted the Japanese government for support, and they are supporting the construction of a substation at the Graphic Road, Graphic area that would ensure power supply to the Graphic Central Business District. Now, that is not the only thing. Mind you, we are constructing a line all the way from Abuazi to Bolgatanga. That is ongoing. And we are constructing new substations, expansion to Kumasi as part of that, Kintampo, Tamale, and then we are building a whole new substation at Bolgatanga. That is being supported by Agence France, the World Bank, EIB, and a host of lenders.
So has that the 40 million euro project is expected to be completed before the end of the year. Matilda Pamaga for Joy News, Accra.
Well, the Electricity Company of Ghana will embark on a nationwide disconnection exercise by Saturday, August 1, 2015. The special exercise is to curb illegal connections and recoup revenue. At a news conference to announce the exercise, the managing director of the Electricity Company of Ghana indicated that out of 2.9 million customers, 20% are illegally connected.
This nationwide exercise started at Dodowa, where the company found that of the 591 customers visited, 119 are connected illegally. According to the managing director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Robert Dramina, the exercise is mainly to save revenue for the company.
Without adequate financial resources, ECG cannot invest in the needed capital projects to deliver quality service to the good of the people of Ghana. It is hoped that the exercise will lead to reduction in system losses, improve power sales, and increase revenue collection during this load management period. This exercise has been designed to check the integrity of all meters and the integrity of our customer service connection. At least if you take the population of our customers, we are, based on this figure, we can say that about 20% are illegally connected.
The mass disconnection exercise will be carried out in a 24-hour daily schedule with support from security agencies and the Revenue Protection Unit of ECG.
Any network which does not meet ECG's specification or ECG standard will be rid of. We will take them off. because they are seen to be illegalities in our system. We are undertaking this exercise with the support of the security agencies, that our teams will have the military and the police backing them to ensure that we undertake this exercise without fear or favor.
Any institution or person found culpable will be prosecuted.
All culprits who will be arrested will be surcharged with the total cost of the stolen energy, and additionally, they will be prosecuted at the utility cost. The names of such persons will be published in the various print and electronic media to shame them.
The power supplier is urging the public to report any illegality to the company for a whistleblower's package. Emmanuel Antes reports for Joy News.
Dozens of retired soldiers picketed at the premises of Parliament today. The aggrieved ex-soldiers say they have not received their full emoluments despite writing countless petitions to the Ministry of Defense and the Ghana Armed Forces. Spokesperson of the group told Joy News they have presented a petition to Chairman of Parliament's Defense Committee and they will not hesitate to come back to Parliament if their concerns are not addressed.
This Article 15.31 talks about age limit when you are retiring a soldier compulsorily. W1 is supposed to be 55 years. W2 is supposed to be 52 years. Staff sergeant and below are supposed to be 50 years. As of 2010, we were 47 years in the service, 26 years, 338 days in the service. Yes. So we did not read the compulsory retirement age. Again, the regulation is saying in Article 15.31 that if you are retiring a soldier under Article under Item 5B of the appendix table to the Appendix 1, and that one is found in the Appendix 3. You are returning a soldier under this condition. He's saying that the commanding officer of the unit shall, and again he used the mandatory word shall furnish the soldier with a written statement. The reason why the soldier is being compulsorily retired from the soldier.
So essentially you're saying that, I mean, all these processes have not been followed.
They did not follow due process. They only gave us 8 days. Our publication came on the 10th of May, and it directed that we should check our case in 18th of May. And aside that, they again issue a directive that any of a soldier 82, 83 that has been nominated for operation should be dropped.
So why didn't you include all these concerns in this petition now?
That one is that one is about the compulsory retirement. Yes, and then you see it has taken this far because it is 4 books that deal with it. You have the Rockwell, the Queen's Regulation, the Volume 1 and the Volume 3, and it was difficult for us getting them. For now, we've been able to get the copies of those books and all that it is saying. So that is why after this we will proceed there.
We're taking a break. Up next, we bring you business news.
Hello there, time now for some business reports with me, Abigail Adomako Enchi. Now, the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, Christine Lagarde, is hopeful Ghana will remain committed to the program it signed until this year and not reverse the gains made so far come the 2016 elections. Election years in Ghana have usually seen heavy overspending by government on mainly infrastructure projects in a bid to impress the electorate to vote for it. Ghana's program with the IMF is, however, seeking to reverse this trend with some tough conditions, the fund says, were introduced in the first year of the program to ease the pressure on government during the election year. Despite her optimism, the IMF MD at an online news briefing says onto the World Bank, and the World Bank's board of directors today approved a record investment of $700 million in guarantees for Ghana's Sankofa gas project, a transformational project that will help address the country's serious energy shortages by developing new sources of clean and affordable natural gas for domestic power generation. The board approved a unique combination of 2 guarantees for the project, an IDA, a payment guarantee of $500 million that supports timely payment for gas purchases by Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, and an IBRD, an enclave loan guarantee of $200 million that enables the project to secure financing from from its private sponsors. Together, the guarantees are expected to mobilize $7.9 billion in new private investment for offshore natural gas, representing the biggest foreign direct investment in Ghana's history. Developing the Sankofa gas projects located 50 kilometers offshore is expected to bring significant benefits for Ghana by fueling up to 1,000 megawatts of clean power generation, and Ghana will be able to reduce its oil imports by up to 12 million barrels a year as soon as the Sankofa field starts to produce gas in early 2018. Away from oil and gas, and over 70 small to medium enterprises have benefited from the Enhancing Growth in New Enterprises Engine Business Development Program. The businesses received financial support of up to £6,000 under the program sponsored by the British government.
The entrepreneurs were awarded accordingly after successfully going through a competitive process under the engine program. Tier 1 awardees received a seed capital of £6,000 and aftercare involving a mix of business development services for a year. Tier 2 awardees also received £3,000 with an aftercare package, while Tier 3 awardees had a year aftercare package.
Program would really help you formalize and get your business being a professional business. The program would also help you leverage a lot of linkages, so you can get linkage to sell your products, you can get linkage to make to get more money, because our money is really small. The idea is to just fix a few things and then you can get more money from other places. And then what you can also do is that we also help you develop some backward integration. We realize those in processing, raw material is their problem, and so we develop the design programs and help them integrate that into their supply chain.
The awardees are excited they have the opportunity to expand their businesses.
New business, I only started operations in October 2014, and a lot of my processes have been very manual. This award would enable me to purchase some form of machinery to enable me to make the process a bit more automated.
And that'll be all for business. My name is Abigail Adomako-Enchi.
Well, news making the rounds in the world of sports, and President of the Ghana Weightlifting Association, NUNOO MENSAH, has criticized government for not paying attention to the federations as they prepare for the upcoming All-Africa Games to be held in Brazzaville, Congo in September. Now, time is running out for federations to prepare qualified athletes as they wait for the second tranche of monies to be released. The Weightlifting Association has received $6,000 so far, which is woefully inadequate, according to NUNOO MENSAH.
We need to look at how we see sports in this country. We need to look at how we zero it down to the least financed sports in this country. I don't think that as a nation we're serious about sports development. One thing we tend to forget that, you know, the better the sports people you have, or the more sports oriented a nation is, the lesser your health budget. You know, so if we think that sports is a grow, like everybody says, so we'll spend very little in sports or put it in the back burner, or sports is not always in the front of our national policies, then we're not doing service to the youth of this nation. Look at the number of the youth who do sports. If we were to get all of them off the street, they have sporting infrastructures, they have sports halls, they have sporting multi-purpose court that they are practicing what their God-given talent. I'm sure would have gotten a lot of our youth off.
Away from athletics, we do football now, and we continue our build up to Sunday's Ghana Super Clash between Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And we turn attention to the two sets of fans. Now, the bragging rights will be up for grabs, and in keeping with the prelude of such great matches around the world, fans are in high spirit and expectant of maximum points. Joy Sports caught up with these fans.
I expect Heart of Oak to win. The reasons are two. One, for somebody who really supports Accra Hearts of Oak, obviously I expect them to win. Secondly, if you look at the standings of Accra House of Folk, their current position on the league table it is very strange that if they fail to win this particular match, of course, they may leave the Premier League come the next season. So, of course, and I expect both teams to be in the league in the next season because they end up making the league very exciting.
I think
Tigo Ghana is set to showcase to the public its biggest corporate social responsibility project for the year from next month. Dubbed the Shelter for Education series, it will air on multi-TV and other media platforms across the country. Director of CSR at Tigo, Gifty Bingley, says it is an initiative worth emulating by corporate Ghana to help develop the economy.
Through the multi-million-dollar initiative, Shelter for Education has come to the aid of school children studying under poor environments such as trees. The series to show the CSR packages for the needy schools is to air on TV, radio and published online and in the newspapers. Director of Corporate Affairs, Gifty Bingley, says it is important for corporate institutions to reinvest in communities they work in.
For us, and for me personally, I've learned so many lessons. I've traveled across different communities. I've become quite familiar with the standards of living and the conditions under which people live. And I think for all corporate institutions, we have a responsibility towards the communities and the places where we work. It shouldn't only be about our profit, but we should find ways to reinvest and reintegrate communities and help improve standards of living.
Under the Shelter for Education project, Tigo Ghana has so far built 4 schools with 6 units classroom blocks each and renovated 2 schools in different selected communities.
We look forward to doing this next year, and next year we hope to reach out to a lot more schools. Already we've had some positive responses since we did the first opening. We've got some schools submitting letters with photos of, you know, where they study and everything. We've received, I think we've got about 20 or so of them already, just from 2 weeks when we started showing the first one. So next year we hope to go into a lot more communities and we hope to invest a lot more into education.
Burundi's opposition leader Agathon Rasa has been elected as the Deputy Speaker of Parliament despite strident criticism of recent legislative and presidential polls. There has been a political crisis since President Pierre Nkurunziza announced intention to run for a 3rd term. Mr. Rasa withdrew from this month's presidential election and described Mr. Nkurunziza's victory as a joke. Mr. Rasa supported the protest that began in April against Mr. Nkurunziza's 3rd term bid, in which more than 70 people died in clashes with the police. There was also a failed coup attempt in May. And that'll be all for the bulletin. Before we go to a quick run through our top stories, patients were left stranded today at public hospitals in Accra after doctors declared a strike over failed talks to finalize their service conditions. One person has been killed in riots at Salaga SHS. The Ghana Group Company is warning electricity consumers of more erratic power outages as it embarks on a project to replace old equipment at substations across the country. As the 2016 election year could prove a major test for government in its quest to stick to its program with the fund. That'll be all. My name is Sujolai. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good evening.
This is Joy News Prime.